What's up, everybody? Welcome to After the Final Whistle, football talk with Jon and Montel. This is episode number 8. I'm Montel, and we have Jon back this week. Good to have you back, buddy. How you feeling?
Much better, much better. I'm able to talk this week.
Well, I made mention that you were on IR last week, so um, I guess it's only fitting that we kick it off with the injury report like we usually do.
All right, so we're going to start off with some big news. Derrick Henry, at the very least, out till playoffs with the ankle injury. Has to get surgery on it, so we'll see when he's able to come back. All those carries finally caught up to him.
You know what's funny? I was going to say the same exact thing because we were talking about it with McCaffrey, and I was like, "Oh, he could just be built like Derrick Henry; he wouldn't break." And here we are.
Titans managed to break him.
Yeah.
AJ Brown was a full participant Wednesday, Thursday in practice and was limited or didn't practice Friday, so he's more than likely out with a knee injury. And then Julio's questionable with his hamstring. So that Titans offense is not looking good.
There's Tannehill, and then that's it.
Yeah, right. You have Cooper nursing, I believe it's a hamstring. You have CeeDee Lamb out with an ankle or limited with an ankle. So we'll see how that affects that offense too. You have Aaron Rodgers out with COVID. I know it's not injury, but still falls underneath this report because he's not playing.
I think what's interesting is how he managed to get himself there. So yeah, it's I got a story for it later, so I'll talk about it a little later.
We have Saquon, who is still dealing with that ankle injury. You have Kadarius Toney back. Calvin Ridley is out for at least 3 games because the Falcons put him on some sort of list that's like an IR, but not IR. It's the first time
I think it was the NFI commissioners list, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right. You have Michael Thomas done for the year with getting that surgery so late because he was due back from IR at any point. So you got a lot of big names out. Devontae Parker got put back on the IR. Rashad Bateman got a groin injury. So, like I said, you just got a lot of big names or up and coming stars just out with injury. Jameis is out for his ACL. Taysom Hill still hasn't passed the concussion protocol, so Trevor Simeon's going to be the quarterback.
Simeon, he's got some experience though, so hopefully it doesn't screw the Saints over too bad, and I hope it does at the same time because, as you know, I hate the Saints. So
right. So that's pretty much all I have for injuries because those are some of the bigger players that you have them, you have a better chance of winning. You don't, you got to play a more perfect game. What do you have for news around the league this week?
It's been quite a week, a pretty interesting week in terms of news. So today, which is Friday, November 5th, the Browns are releasing Odell Beckham Jr. today. He's got some interesting language in his contract that allows the Browns to set a base salary, the minimum. I'm assuming that's the vet minimum. It didn't really specify. and they can convert the rest of his salary to like a signing bonus. So that way, if somebody wants to pick him up on waivers, they don't have to pay that entire signing bonus, and he's able to play some more this year. Well, not this year,
Okay.
but play at a more reasonable number this year. Next thing I got is Aaron Rodgers is fighting with the NFL over his vaccination status. He's from what I've heard, he's pretty pissed that his status got leaked. I guess he already has like a frayed relationship with Brian, is it pronounced Gutekunst, the GM for the Packers. So um, it sounds like he had something to do with it, but pretty much I guess he wasn't completely like forthcoming with his vaccination status, and he's kind of been skirting some of the protocols in the interim when he was I don't want to say falsely reporting, but he didn't quite explain exactly what he had done. He had like some homeopathic therapy done. I'm guessing is what they said in the news report I read.
Okay.
So yeah, you've been a Packers fan. Well, let me go back some here. When they asked him if he was vaccinated, his response was, "I am immunized." He never actually said he was vaccinated. He just stated he was immunized. As a Packers fan, what do you think about that, man? That not a good look for the leader of the team, supposedly.
Uh, no, not at all. So I've been, thinking about this whole thing for, well, since the news broke. But I mean, you're the leader of the team. I mean, stop being stupid.
Yeah, and my thing is like, I get it. Kirk Cousins is kind of like the same way. I'm a Vikings fan, as most of y'all know who listen. He's not vaccinated, but with him, he's at least forthcoming on why he is not. And Rodgers just gives this vibe like he thinks he's like the smartest guy in the room, and it came back to bite him. Is how I kind of see it.
Yeah, and also at the same time, okay, I get that you want to keep your personal life private. I understand. But when you're in the public eye, you play for the National Football League, you play in front of thousands of fans, and you want to be known as a leader. This is not how you go about it.
No, I think bad for optics in my eye, but um, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna poke fun at you for being a Packers fan or nothing, but
So, did you happen to catch what Jordan Love said today?
uh, no.
So he at the press conference had a mask on, and he goes, "I'm wearing a mask, because I'm in protocol. I typically don't wear a mask because I've been vaccinated."
I mean, quarterback leading. Honestly, and this is like unrelated, but he'll probably be our quarterback next year because Rodgers is probably gone.
He very well could be. And Devontae Adams was quoted today as saying that he has like this like different look in his eye in practice this week. So we'll see. I mean, it's lining up for him to have a good game. You got one of the worst defenses coming up. You got the top wide receiver in the league. You got a top five running back.
Let's see who y'all play this week.
The Chiefs.
Oh yeah, their defense is dog shit. Um, yeah, I think in his first start, I mean, this is just not related, but we'll talk about it. He'll probably, I think he'll probably go for about 275 and two touchdowns, maybe one on the ground. That's a pretty good game for your first
It
start.
is. It is. I mean, just look what Mike White did 2 weeks ago to the Bengals. 405 and like two or three.
Lit their ass up. Yeah, I think he had four passing and one rushing, I think. So he lit their ass up. He actually has more touchdowns than Zach Wilson does the whole season in that one game. Fun fact.
I also think, fun fact, him and Cam Newton are the only two that in the entire NFL that have thrown for over 400 yards in their debut.
Huh. I knew Cam was pretty good that first game, but I didn't know he threw for 400. But yeah, I mean, I think part of the problem is they probably didn't really like plan to play this guy, so it's hard to prepare for what you don't know. He probably didn't have a bunch of film or anything. So, uh,
Right.
and speaking of the Jets, the Colts and the Jets, they achieved what's called a scoregami. Have you ever heard that term before?
I have not.
So a scoregami is a final score that has never happened in the NFL. So in the history of the NFL, there's never been a game that was ended 45-30. The score may have been 45-30 at some point, but the final score didn't end up being that. So,
okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. I know there's the different groups that keep track of that kind of stuff, and it came with my news feed, and I was like, well, I mean, it's new, so I'll throw it in there.
Right. So we got to ask this question. Has Mike White played himself into the starting role for the Jets, putting up what, like 60 points in his first two starts?
I don't think so. Um, I think a lot of these like GMs and stuff, they invest a first round pick in a quarterback, and if he played prior to an injury, he's gonna come back and start. That's just kind of like their mindset. They don't want to look like the idiot who drafted this guy high and then he's sitting for some. I guess the guy's undrafted, Mike White. I've never even heard of him.
I
So,
think he was drafted in the 6th round.
oh, so he was actually drafted. Okay, so a late rounder, So pretty much the guy
Yeah.
who probably could have gone undrafted.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he looks good. I haven't seen a bunch of Zach Wilson, but like I said, he was drafted high, and their GM's not going to let him sit. It's just I personally think it's an ego thing for some of those GMs.
I can understand that considering who my team is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna poke fun today. Nope, not gonna do it. Um, so next up, I got a bunch of trade news. The deadline was this week, um, so I'll just kind of rattle them all off here, and these are just like the major ones. I know there were more, but these are the major ones. Broncos defensive end slash linebacker Von Miller traded to the Los Angeles Rams for a second and third round pick for 2022. Steelers defensive end slash linebacker Melvin Ingram traded to the Chiefs for a 6th-round pick. Chiefs guard Laurent Duvernay-Tardif was traded to the Jets for a tight end, Dan Brown, and I have in parentheses who, because I have no clue who the hell that guy is. So I know the Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. I don't know if you ever heard about this, but a couple years ago, he actually got his like MD, and he petitioned for the NFL if he could put on the back of his jersey, kind of like he would Junior, and they told him no. But he actually is a Canadian who didn't play last year. He opted out, and he actually went to go be a doctor at a hospital on the front lines for COVID-19 when he went back to Canada.
Okay. Respect to him for doing that.
Yeah, big respect. He came back and got traded for an unknown tight end. Respectfully disrespect the guy. That's not hilarious, but it's sad that he went through that and lost his spot to actually a rookie. So,
all right.
Yeah. Yeah. And next, it's the elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about it, and it deals with the Raiders again. Henry Ruggs, he has been released by the Las Vegas Raiders after a fatal crash. So far, as of started taking notes on this on November 3rd. So I haven't updated it just yet, but this is what we have so far. Apparently, he sat on the curb after the crash while the passenger and her dog were still in the vehicle. Let's see here. His blood alcohol content was 0.161, The legal limit is actually, I think, point 0.8 in that particular state. So, um, big dumb is all I'm gonna say on that. Next, he was allegedly going upwards of 156 miles per hour. His airbags deployed at 127 miles an hour. He had an unregistered firearm in the car as well. And he's probably going to serve some time. A lot. Because lady died.
Yeah. I mean, tragic story. Sorry for that family's loss from someone doing one of the most selfish slash dumbest things you can do.
And you know what makes it absolutely like bad for me? I found out this week that the NFL actually has a service that will come and get you if you're drunk.
Of course.
They have people that will come and drive you like an Uber to your house if you're too drunk to drive. And
And I
now
mean,
you, a 20-something-year-old kid, chose to drink and drive. You killed someone. Now you've pretty much thrown your future away. At minimum, dude, he's looking at probably like 10 to 50 years in jail. And I think he deserves every single day. But that's just
uh,
my personal.
yeah. I also think a few years ago he lost his best friend in um, similar situation.
So why wouldn't you like take away from that? That's not a good idea.
I I don't know. I don't know.
I, man, yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. Out of respect for the young lady, her name is Tina Tintor. We're gonna do a moment of silence here. So if you would please just bear with us here for about 30 seconds or so while we do a quick moment of silence for the victim of that crash. Okay, and I know it's kind of tough to move on, but we've got a podcast to keep on schedule as well. So we'll move on to how did our fantasy teams do this week?
So I want to start with the good first. In the fun league, I ended up winning, like 140 to like 128, something like that. And then in the money league, I am on a freaking losing streak, man. Lost again, fourth week in a row. Kind of ran into another buzzsaw team who had Matt Stafford and Amari Cooper and Travis Kelsey and Cooper Cup, and lost like 157 to like 131.
Yep, about the same for me. I lost 91 to 104 in our fun league and 134 to 103 in the league we paid for money. So I think I'm on a 2-game losing streak in both. It might be 3-1. I don't know. I typically just kind of tune out after a few losses in a row and just update my roster. So it
That's what I'm
is what
doing.
it is. Look, it is what it is. You know, I can't do nothing about it. Let's see what's next on our agenda here. Predictions from last week. So I did your predictions. I didn't do them. You sent them to me, and then I put them on record. So I did
Okay.
not cheat. So John's initial prediction for Steelers versus Browns was 24-17. They ended up winning 15-10. He predicted the Titans would beat the Colts 21-10. They beat them 34-31. He predicted the Patriots would lose to the Chargers 10-28. The Patriots ended up winning 27-24. His record for the week was 2-1. Overall, he's sitting at 14-6. I had Panthers at Falcons. I said the Panthers would win 24-21. They won 19-13. I said the Buccaneers would beat the Saints 35-21. They won, I believe it was 27-36. I don't have that noted for some reason, but and the last game I had last week was the Vikings and Cowboys. I said Cowboys would lose 27-30. They won 20-16. For a record of 1-2 for the week, overall of 9-11. Tough. Tough loss. I have nothing more to say. It was a tough loss, and I'll be on record again saying this: Mike Zimmer's a gutless coward. So I guess for this coming up week, John, you've got Falcons at Saints, Titans at Rams, Packers at Chiefs.
All right. So Falcons at Saints. I'm gonna, even though they're playing Trevor Siemian, want to go against go with the Saints. That defense isn't overall better defense than the Falcons. I'm gonna say 17-10.
Well, my problem with the Falcons is like they have no. Sorry, let me put this closer. My problem with the Falcons is they have no business with the record that they have.
No.
Like, let me go look. They're 3-4. They have no business being 3-4. They should probably be like a 1-6 or 0-17, but they have somehow managed to win 3 games. So overall, I'm kind of with you. But I think the Saints unfortunately have better coaching, just throw up in my mouth a little bit than what the Falcons do. So I'm with you on that one.
I'm shocked you had something positive to say about the Saints.
I'll save the negative for off air. Thank you very much.
Okay. That's acceptable. So Rams versus Titans. Kind of like I alluded to in the injury report. Titans have kind of potentially have lost all of their offensive weapons for this week. Yes, I know they signed Adrian Peterson.
I thought it was Beeston.
I'm not touching that one. But I mean, yes, Adrian Peterson prime was fantastic, but he's 36, 37, didn't pick up in the off season. I mean, you can't replace the production you were getting from Derrick Henry, even though you're getting a somewhat Derrick Henry clone there.
He's a Hall of Fame running back that's past his prime like 10 years ago.
Exactly. And then you have the Rams, who just picked up one of the top defensive players in the league.
Can we talk about that first? Where's all this damn money coming from? How are they paying?
From my understanding, the salary cap is magic. They can
it's a myth.
Sign
it's
whoever they want.
It's literally like they're playing freaking Madden with the damn salary cap turned off. They have Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and now they get Von Miller. Like what? All right.
You have one of the top 5 players at each position there.
Pretty much. Then they pick up Matt Stafford's like $40 million contract in the offseason. It's just like, where does the money come from?
Who knows? Signing bonuses probably, because I don't think that counts towards the salary cap, from my understanding. But before I give you my pick, did you see like what the GM of the Rams coffee mug said at a press conference?
No, but I'm going to take a shot and say something like "win at all costs."
No, it allegedly said "fuck them picks."
Look, man, like you said a second ago with the Adrian Peterson, I ain't touching that one.
So, I mean, how can you not pick the Rams in this game? 34-17 is what I'm saying for Rams.
You said 34.
Yes, sir.
So over under Tannehill gets carted off the field from Von Miller and Aaron Donald completely murdering him on the field.
So they're going to have to cart him off on two stretchers because if that happened, he'd probably be, ripped in half.
Probably. There's only one ambulance, I think. So which half do you say? Just curious, but
Who knows? Who knows? So moving on, since the news broke about Aaron Rodgers and stuff is still coming out, you got Jordan Love making his first official NFL start. So congrats for him. Looking forward to it. Backups this year have been better than normal. We'll say that.
then they should be, I think. Yes, it's annoying. It should.
Um, yeah. So I mean, like I said when we were talking about it, it lines up for him to have a great debut. He's just got to have that confidence in himself and getting all those first team reps in PTOs and training camp and all of that. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Packers win this one. I think it's going to be close. I mean, what Patrick Mahomes has thrown like 1,000 interceptions this year.
Mm-hmm.
um, but in all seriousness, I think it's been like 10 or so, which is astronomical for him. So if he keeps that up, Packers defense this year has been solid. Um, even though AJ Green gave the game away last week, but that's fine. Um,
Let it go, let it go.
I I heard that in that one he decided to retire in the middle of his route in the fourth quarter.
I'm honestly like not surprised after Vontae Davis. I think is who it was. Like retired in the middle, like had halftime. So I'm
Yeah.
not surprised anymore.
Um, but I'll go ahead and say Packers win this one, um, 24-21.
I can see. I think the Chiefs defense averages over 24 points a game, like giving up. So I would not be
Uh,
surprised.
so over under Jordan Love getting the Packers over 24 points because they have scored 24 points, I think, in the past 3 or 4 games.
Hmm.
So you think Jordan can take them over that threshold?
So what you want, like a 5-1 kind of thing, or
Uh, just sure that works.
okay, or I can do a percentage. I don't care. Pick one.
Percentage wise,
Percentage. I'm gonna say 55%. So more likely than not.
okay, I can see it. I mean, especially against the worst or next to worst defense in the league, you know, based off of stats.
I mean, the only thing the Chiefs defense has going for them this year are the memes, honestly, with Tyrann Mathieu holding his hands up, and he apparently hates that. I think it was a Daniel Sorensen or whatever, 49. He's literally
Okay.
garbage. So that, yeah, I think he'll, like I said, 2 touchdowns, maybe one on the ground. So he'll light them up probably.
Yeah. All right. And you ready to go over your picks?
I am. I'm ready to cry because apparently I'm really bad at this. So, um, Let's see. Patriots at Panthers. The Panthers suck. So and they somehow have like eased their way into a 4-4 record. So I'm gonna say Patriots win this one. I'll go 34-14. Oh, hold on, I gotta type the Panthers thing. All right, Browns at Bengals. Let's see. You remember Dennis Green all those years ago yelling about the Bears being who who we thought they were?
Yeah.
The Bengals definitely ain't who we thought they were. So
No, they are not.
and Baker's playing like garbage. He just lost like his 1A receiver. So I'm gonna say the Browns lose this one 21 27.
Right. I mean, Bengals have
They're stacked, dude. The wide receiver can't cover anybody.
receivers are stacked. Quarterback is solid. I mean, he still has some learning to do, but still young.
Right.
And then if they could get like a more durable running back, I mean, Joe Mixon this year and last year have been solid, but he does deal with a lot of soft tissue injuries
Right.
and
And it probably has to do with all
ankles.
the carries they give him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals kind of remind me of like the Vikings from like the late '90s when they had Moss, Carter, and I forget the third guy's name. Uh, I have to look that up, but they were three deep at receiver, and it was you pick your poison. Guard 1 and 2, great. Who's gonna guard 3? So, and they also have a solid tight end with CJ Uzomah. So,
Yeah.
I honestly probably shouldn't even give the Browns 21, but I'll be nice because Baker's probably gonna play pretty pissed off. So.
Hey, as long as he can target Jarvis, and I mean, I think the Browns have like the most yards per game running, or at least they were when they had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb healthy.
I think they got Chubb back, so the other like the backup to the backup, the Eric Johnson or whatever, he'll
Dearness Johnson, yeah.
probably get some carries and they'll probably run a lot of play action and stuff. And Baker will probably, if I had to guess, I'd say he'd probably target Landry like 10 times. Landry probably gets 7 catches, like 80 or 90 yards, maybe a touchdown. So good look. It might be a good look for you in fantasy this week.
It's a good thing he's in my starting lineup. So let's hope.
Yeah. So the last game I got is Vikings at Ravens. I run out of purple Kool-Aid, so I'm just going to call it like it is. Vikings will lose a close one, and it'll be probably something like 20-21. Ravens.
As long as Kirk Cousins throws no interceptions and like the 3 touchdowns, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk's not the problem, dude. I'm so over like the conservative, and I'm gonna just like be blunt here, like bullshit that Mike Zimmer does. Like, homie called 2 timeouts back to back. You can't do that. He runs the ball on 3rd and 10 more than any other like team in the league. It's like watching a controlled car crash every week. And I don't know how I watch these games every week.
Probably with alcohol next to you.
No, yeah, I don't drink usually. I usually drink a bunch of water and yeah. I can't be sad right now. We'll have to move on.
I would say they're tanking for who in the draft, but it seems like this year's quarterback draft is not as solid as the past 2.
Nope, not very good. I talk a little bit about that. The consensus number 1 quarterback, Spencer Rattler, is not that good apparently. So, there wasn't really a lot after him. And I think There's a kid from like North Carolina, Sam Howell. He's apparently pretty decent, but he's like slight of frame. So uh,
Yeah,
maybe I guess in like February we can start looking at like draft prospects and stuff. I think that'd be cool.
yeah, yeah. We'll discuss it and go from there.
Other than the scores, man, that's the end of the agenda that I got. You got anything else you want to cover before we go?
Um, Not really. Just these times, with everything going on, just be safe out there. Um, but that's really all I got.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll give us an outro. Before I do that, though, I mentioned we were going to have a special guest, kind of like our pre-meeting. Matt Watson's going to be coming on next week, hopefully, if nothing comes up, and he's going to be talking some Eagles talk. Kind of, from what I understand, he wants to discuss how Carson Wentz leaving Philly was both a good and a bad thing. So, we got some insight from somebody out of the NFC North.
Okay, sounds
Um,
like a plan.
yep. And so, lastly, leave a voice message. There should be a link in the description of the episode and also for the actual description of the show. You can also email us at afterthefinalwhistlepodcast@gmail.com. We're available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Pocket Cast. If you got another platform, just shoot us an email and we'll do our best to get it put up. Other than that, man, I ain't got nothing else.
All right. Until next time, everybody, y'all take care.
Peace.